May 1945, the war ends and the Luftwaffe collapses overnight. Across Europe, thousands of German aircraft sit abandoned, from classic fighters to cutting-edge jets and unfinished prototypes. The Allies suddenly control technology years ahead of its time, and a silent race begins to capture, study, or destroy everything they find. In early May 1945, as Germany surrendered, the Luftwaffe had effectively ceased to function. Aircraft stood abandoned on airfields from Norway to Austria, some intact, others stripped for parts or damaged by bombing. Fuel shortages, scattered command structures, and destroyed infrastructure had grounded many units for weeks. By the time the capitulation took effect on 8 May, thousands of aircraft remained where they were, silent evidence of a force that had once dominated the skies over Europe. Across northern Germany, key sites such as Flensburg and Lübeck held large numbers of grounded aircraft, some intact, others damaged or unfinished. In Prague, hangars were filled with Messerschmitts, Heinkels, and late-war prototypes. At Richlin, the Luftwaffe's main testing center, Allied investigators found experimental airframes, wind tunnel models, and technical documents that revealed the scope of Germany's jet and rocket research. The variety of surviving aircraft surprised many Allied officers. Alongside classic types like the Messerschmitt Bf 109 and Focke-Wulf Fw 190, they found advanced innovations such as the Arado R-234 jet bomber, the Heinkel He-162, and the remains of projects like the Junkers Ju-287 bomber. Transport and reconnaissance aircraft, including the Junkers Ju-52 and Heinkel He-111, were scattered across airfields as well. Many units had simply run out of fuel in the war's final weeks, leaving machines parked and untouched. By the time the fighting ended, the Luftwaffe's administrative structure had collapsed. Commanders surrendered to whichever Allied forces they encountered, and ground crews often abandoned posts without orders. Aircraft maintenance records, fuel depots, and spare parts stores were incomplete or destroyed. The Allied Control Commission quickly established strict rules. All German aircraft were grounded, and no German pilot could fly without direct Allied authorization. These measures aimed to prevent unauthorized flights, escape attempts, or the movement of senior officials. A debate soon emerged within Allied commands about what should be preserved and what should be destroyed. Some officers argued that German aircraft posed a risk if left intact, while others saw their potential for research. What is clear is that, from the first days after the surrender, the fate of the Luftwaffe's planes became a matter of intelligence, logistics, and political calculation. As soon as Germany surrendered, the Allies began large-scale recovery programs to seize the Luftwaffe's most advanced aircraft. The United States moved first. On 9 May 1945, a day after the formal capitulation, American intelligence teams launched Operation Lusty, short for Luftwaffe Secret Technologue Y. Led by Colonel Harold Watson, these teams spread across Germany, Austria, and Czechoslovakia. Their mission was clear: locate advanced aircraft, secure technical documents, and transport selected machines back to America for testing. At Lechfeld in Germany, American forces secured several intact Messerschmitt Bf 162 jets. At Grove Airfield in Denmark, they found Arado jet bombers and a mix of late-war prototypes. Aircraft deemed valuable were flown or dismantled for shipment to the Wright Field Testing Center in Ohio. Others went to Freeman Field in Indiana, where evaluation units cataloged equipment, engines, and design features. Pilots from the Watson's Whizzers Air Flight Group test flew captured jets under controlled conditions. Their reports shaped early American understanding of swept wings, jet propulsion, and high-speed aerodynamics. the British launched a parallel effort known as Operation Surgeon. Unlike the Americans, who focused on capturing physical aircraft, the British were equally interested in the engineers, scientists and technicians who built them. Teams from the Royal Aircraft Establishment moved into airfields at Fassberg, Schleswig, Husum and Reichlin, interviewing surviving personnel and gathering documents. Selected experts were transferred to British facilities for post-war work. At RAF Farnborough, test pilots flew captured aircraft, including the Me-2, 162, to better understand its strengths and weaknesses. The British were particularly interested in the He-162, whose lightweight design offered lessons for future trainers and interceptors. The Soviet Union also moved quickly. Their trophy brigades seized factories and airfields across Saxony, Thuringia, Silesia, and Czechoslovakia. Major production centers such as the Avia Works in Prague and the Bf 109 assembly lines in Moravia fell under Soviet control. Aircraft were shipped east by rail, along with tooling equipment and engineers. At air bases near Moscow and Leningrad, Soviet pilots and designers examined the Me-2, 162 and R-234, integrating their findings into early jet projects. Competition soon emerged among the Allies. Each power wanted access to the rarest aircraft, especially prototypes that existed in small numbers. There were disagreements over which side had the right to certain machines, particularly at sites in central Germany where American and Soviet forces arrived only days apart. The Allied Control Council attempted to coordinate collection efforts, but tensions reflecting early Cold War divisions were already visible. German personnel played an important role in these programs. Former pilots, mechanics, and engineers answered technical questions, sometimes under supervision and sometimes as part of temporary employment agreements. Their explanations helped Allied teams operate complex systems such as the Jumo 004 jet engine, the BMW 003, and advanced navigation equipment. The Allies documented everything: photographs, blueprints, flight manuals, and test reports, before deciding which aircraft to keep and which to destroy. By late 1946, the major collection efforts were complete. Dozens of Luftwaffe aircraft had been shipped to the United States, Britain, and the Soviet Union for testing.